Well, right now, I want to bring in Dr. Mohammed Abu Mughaissib. He is the Deputy Medical Director in Gaza for Médecins Sans Frontières, or Doctors Without Borders. Doctor, it's good to have you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Let's start with what you've heard from your colleagues about what happened at Nasser Hospital on Monday.
First of all, thank you for having me. It's not the first time. The incidence of Nasser was not the first time that Nasser Hospital or hospital in Gaza has been targeted. Our teams were there at the time of the strike or the artillery shelling. It was the first one hit the main surgical building of Nasser Hospital. Then another strike hit it when the paramedics and civil defense with journalists went to see the first strike. So, it was live, as you saw everyone on the TV, that it was live and hit directly. Of course, again, it's a technical error, military failure, professional failure. This is the excuse. But, hospitals, it was not the first time to be targeted in Gaza during this war.
Yeah. It's been described as a tragic mishap, and there is an investigation ongoing. What do you think is needed to hold Israel accountable, sir?
The allies, the world has to say their word. خلاص. In Arabic we say خلاص. Enough. The war has to stop. As even the Israeli government admitted that 80% of the people who are killed and injured are civilians. We all condemn what happened on 7th October, but now, it's beyond the revenge of what's going on in Gaza. Gaza has been destroyed totally. The infrastructure, the basic life, there's no basic life at all. It's a land of rebels here. Hospitals, health system is completely not existing. I don't want to say collapse. It's not existing. It's work on a daily basis. There is no school, no universities, nothing, in Gaza. What is needed now is really to stop this war and to stop this blood that is ongoing since more than nearly 700 days.
This is what the UN human rights spokesperson said about the strike very specifically on Nasser Hospital earlier this week. Have a listen.
The killing of journalists in Gaza should shock the world, not into stunned silence, but into action, demanding accountability and justice. This incident and the killing of all civilians, including journalists, must be thoroughly and independently investigated, and justice must follow.
And we've heard similar condemnations throughout this conflict, to your point, to the many strikes on hospitals and other facilities. Do you think the sort of condemnation that we've heard from the UN and others will in any way pressure Israel to change its action?
Unfortunately, there was several condemns during this war. Several statements from countries, from the UN, but nothing has been, no actions on the ground. It didn't stop the war machine, didn't stop the war. Still, the civilians are killed, children are killed. It's 20,000 children are killed during this war. 15,000 women are killed. The country is completely, Gaza Strip is a rebel country. So, I hope that at one point the closest ally of Israel will manage to say their word and, put some action on the ground.
So one of the journalists killed Monday, of course, was مريم Abu Daga. We have profiled some of her work today on this show. You worked with her while she documented, as I understand it, what your team was doing in the enclave. What was your experience, sir, of working with her?
I worked with مريم personally for one day, but she worked with the team for a few days as a freelancer photographer to photograph and to interview our activities in Gaza, medical activities. She's a very motivated, full of life. She's, she has a beautiful soul. She was recording with her at that time with her mobile phone. She was doing the interview with our General Secretary, Director of Doctors Without Border. And, she was joking, she was smiling, she still had hope. I mean, it was still the war, but still she was having hope, motivated. And, she's a very nice person. She has a nice soul. Really, I met her only one day. I worked with her one day. But she's a very nice person, and I hope that her soul will rest in peace.
And I have to ask, finally, and briefly, how's your team doing on the ground, sir?
The team of, they are part of the population. Now they are under huge stress because, the majority of them, they live in Gaza City, which will be the next target by the Israeli, army, and there will be a kind of displacement and evacuation order for them. So they are living under huge stress. They are working under huge stress. They need to think about where to move. There is no place for them to move. There is no shelter anymore. That will be the 10th time for them maybe to move during this war in this very difficult condition. So, they are all, the team are now, and Gaza population are highly stressed because of the statements from the Israeli that there will be a ground operation and occupation of the Gaza City and displacement of the population to the south.
I don't use the word blame. Mm-hmm. I'm not the blame game. If you want to blame, it's Hamas.
Yeah.
But no matter how bad Hamas is, we as Jews have an obligation to provide food and medical care for civilians. Again, and I just said it before, I don't know exactly what's happening in Gaza. But even if there's a question that maybe we're not doing what we should be doing, we have a responsibility to speak out and to say, we don't starve civilians. That's not what Judaism teaches us. That's not the way we've been explained to us what the Torah values and the Jewish values are.
You also write that the future of Israel depends not only on its military strength, but on its moral clarity. There must be resounding voices for justice, righteousness, and peace for all people, even and especially in the hardest of times. I'm just wondering, how far have the actions of this current Israeli government strayed from what were the founding principles of the modern state of Israel?
It's a very important question. I'm not going to make judgment on that. Clearly, the letter speaks for itself. I'm not going to start criticizing the Israeli government because it's a government that represents a country that I love. But clearly, through the letter, we have questions on whether or not they're living up to what they should be doing.